19-year-old Saudi Arabian woman was accompanied by a male friend when she was attacked and forcibly raped by 7 men. The pair, despite being victims of the crime, later received a 6-month prison sentence and 200 government-issued lashes each, with enforcement authorities claiming that the woman had confessed to having an affair. Her lawyer then had his own legal license temporarily removed after criticizing the teenager's treatment at the hands of the case's judges. This case, along with many other similar situations, was not deemed unjustified by the Saudi Arabian officials. From this atrocity, as well as that of many others, Saudi Arabian human rights, specifically that of women's rights, are incredibly violated and restricted every day on the account of the nation's government being very limiting to human rights. As this issue is growing more and more every day around the world, it is of current and topical interest to eliminate gender equality and banish its unfairness for humanity's own benefit. In the sovereign kingdom of Saudi Arabia, women are often looked at as less powerful and less capable figures to that of men. Women summatively have fewer rights, cannot enjoy various public activities such as walking, running, swimming, and are also generally very low compared to manners as that of men, as well as that of not being able to hold governmental and economical positions, which men can have. I believe that this can be solved by the implementing of fairer governmental policies and aids, as well as that of increased advocating for Saudi Arabian women's rights as a whole. With these enhancements, the sense of unity, pride, and equality for the people of Saudi Arabia, as well as that of the international community, would greatly ascend. Many people usually think of women's rights in the Middle East being very religiously enforced. This is true, but this idea has evolved to the common point of Muslim women not being able to choose whether or not they desire to wear less revealing clothing and headdresses in public. In my opinion, though, in Saudi Arabia, even if women aren't Muslim, they're still very limited to these rights. And I think this is why practices are looked upon as right, because the men think it's right. The Saudi Arabian government has thus addressed the topic as being disrespectful again from religion, which is an absolute outrage, as the national restrictions for women's rights are downright gruesome. Ultimately, the problem truly derives from a mixture of religious and political limitations for a seemingly better, more respected country as a whole, at least from the government standards. In order to fix the issue of women's rights violations in Saudi Arabia, my primary recommendation consists of more commonly allowing women to run and gain political offices in Saudi Arabian elections. In my opinion, this recommendation could greatly help to solve the current situation of the country, as it would allow for the equal input of women's ideas, suggestions, and recommendations to formulate a more positive future for the country, specifically for women, as their rights are just terrible. As men generally hold about 95% of political offices in Saudi Arabia, a fairer balance of activity in the government for both genders would help to nullify some of the inequality present in the country. Today, in relation to my politically based recommendation, not that many women are allowed to run and hold official governmental positions, as well as that of economical positions, such as being a CEO of a large company. Those who do hold a position have very little power in their office anyways. The reason that I strive for this recommendation to become a reality is because of the great potential that it holds. With the rate of women gaining entry into governmental positions increasing, the entire infrastructure and inner society of Saudi Arabia has the potential to change, let alone its economy's future for women and men working together. In total, with these positions in place, I think that Saudi Arabian women could gain very much fairer rights to that of men, specifically deriving from the enhancement of allowing women to freely express their opinion and ideas. With the issue of Saudi Arabia's gender equality discussed, the recommendation of allowing women to more freely and equally represent their ideas in such positions could very likely aid the current situation by giving new hope for a nation for more fair and regulated ideas, mainly through their own input about policies such as having certain rules and laws in a neighborhood or in a public park. I believe that with these restrictions and ideas completely gone from Saudi Arabia as a whole, gender equality could be destroyed and the nation could live in a once more peaceful era once and for all.